4 o'clock now, this 4th of July. We're taking a live look outside right now. Just a beautiful start to the day. Nice and toasty out there, blue skies. We are looking at some afternoon showers, though. Take a look at some of the storms that rolled through Castle Rock already. This was just a few hours ago. 9 News viewer Keith Schneider sent us this video. Thanks, Keith. You can see the rain just hammering the pavement there. Those winds were also pretty strong. You see the leaves of the trees kind of shaking around. So let's check in with Corey.
Yeah, it's good to get it a little earlier in the day, Corey, especially because everybody's thinking about tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's perfect scenario, right? Because we can get those storms out of the way, and once the firework displays start to show up, we'll have more drier conditions and less wind too, so things are really looking pretty good for the fireworks displays tonight. Here's the live radar picture right now across the state. We do have one severe thunderstorm warning down to the southeast. This line of storms will be crossing the Highway 50 area here just shortly here. One inch hail and some gusty winds. Up here in our area, we do have some strong storms here. We're expecting some gusty winds between Fort Morgan and Sterling over the next 30 minutes with this line of thunderstorms. The next wave of storms are trying to form here in the Denver metro area. You can see the puffy clouds up there across the skyline. We could get a quick gusty storm here over the next about hour or so. Temperatures relatively mild here to 86 degrees in the Denver metro area, 83 at the airport. So we did not make it to 90 today. We could make it to 90 tomorrow though. Here's the forecast in Denver tomorrow. Lots of sunshine early on, getting those temperatures up there close to 90 when those thunderstorms start to show up, and we will have isolated chances as we go into about the 5 o'clock hour. I'll detail those thunderstorm chances and a heat wave that may be coming towards the middle of the week. That's coming up in the forecast in just a few minutes.
5 people were hurt after a rollover crash that closed down part of I-76 near Commerce City this morning. A truck was seen on its side when emergency crews arrived a little after 5:30. Commerce City police say it is at least one of the people that were hurt has serious injuries. No other specifics were given. So far, the cause of the crash is still under investigation.
Within the last half hour, President Trump signed his massive spending bill. Both the House and Senate managed to pass his big, beautiful bill just ahead of today's deadline. There was some resistance to the bill from both sides of the aisle. It's expected to fulfill many of the ideas the president has been talking about in his second term, extending tax cuts from his first term, increased funding for border enforcement and immigration, steep cuts to Medicaid. When asked about it today, at least asked about that opposition towards the bill, Vice President J.D. Vance defended it, saying the bill will make it easier to invest in the United States.
We're going to look back on this, I really do think, as the beginning of the golden age of the United States of America. And remember, it's not just the bill, it's all of the Trump administration policies that form a coherent whole, where we're trying to make it easier to invest and build in the United States of America.
As it takes effect, the law is expected to raise the debt ceiling by trillions of dollars.
Another round of Russian attacks in Ukraine overnight. Those strikes were launched just after President Trump and Russian leader Vladimir Putin spoke for almost an hour.
After that call, President Trump expressed disappointment in the conversation, saying he believed Putin was not looking to stop the war. NBC's Molly Hunter has the latest on the growing tensions.
The biggest aerial attack to date in that war, a terrifying night for Ukrainians, especially those who live in the capital of Kyiv. And President Zelensky says the capital was not only targeted specifically, but that the first air raid sirens across the country overnight started just as President Trump and President Putin got on the phone. Now, they spoke for nearly an hour yesterday. Of course, this isn't the first time the Russian president and the American president have spoken on the phone. This is part of Trump's own brand of diplomacy, speaking directly to Putin. But he expressed frustration yesterday. President Trump said, "I didn't make any progress with him at all today." He added later, "I don't think he's there, and I'm very disappointed. Well, I'm just saying I don't think he's looking to stop, and that's too bad." Now, this phone call comes as Russia is expanding its summer offensive. It also comes the same week the U.S. announces that it's limiting that critical support for Ukraine. And we have new exclusive reporting from our colleagues at the Pentagon. The decision to halt that weapons package to Ukraine was a unilateral decision by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, according to 3 congressional aides and a former U.S. official. An analysis by senior military officers found that the aid package would not jeopardize the American military's own ammunition supplies, according to 3 U.S. officials. And the move blindsided not only the State Department and members of Congress, but over here on this side of the Atlantic, European allies and definitely officials in Kyiv. Molly Hunter, NBC News, London.
The attorney for James Craig has withdrawn from the case after being arrested for arson. Craig is the former dentist from Aurora accused of killing his wife Angela in 2023 by putting poison in her protein shake. His trial has already been delayed once after his previous attorney also withdrew from the case. Craig was set to go on trial next week. Now it's unclear if that trial will stay on schedule. As far as that arson arrest, Arapahoe County authorities say the lawyer, Robert Working, was found sitting on the front porch of his burning home in Centennial last weekend. We're working to learn more details about his arrest.
A man has been arrested for starting a small grass fire near the town of Superior. It happened just after 7:30 last night off of Highway 36 near the Saddlebrook at Rock Creek complex. Fire crews quickly contained the flames to about a quarter acre. Deputies say the fire started at a nearby encampment and was likely sparked by a cigarette. They arrested 37-year-old Alexander Seidel for his 4th-degree arson.
A state ethics committee has cleared the former mayor of Erie from a complaint that has dragged on for 2 years. Back in February of 2023, a failed candidate for Erie trustee filed a complaint against then mayor Justin Brooks. He accused the mayor of forcing a city task force to vote on funding for a nonprofit that Brooks ran at the time, Be Better Neighbors. In actuality, Brooks was simply advising the board and never forced a vote. Now, more than 2 years later, the ethics committee found Brooks didn't vote on or attempt to influence anyone. They threw out the complaint this week. An estimated 10,000 people lined 23rd Avenue in Denver today for the annual Park Hill Parade.
It's Denver's biggest 4th of July parade every year, but this year features something different. People may have noticed. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel is live along the route with a float that maybe caught a few folks by surprise. Evan.
Yeah, the goal for most of the floats out here today is to be as loud and boisterous as possible. But one group took a very different approach, hoping their silence would send a message. If you're looking for a joyful way to celebrate the red, white, and blue, the Park Hill Parade is the place to be on July 4th.
Oh, everybody's so excited. There's tons of kids and tons of candy is thrown, and it's like Halloween all over again. Mary Salsick has been to this celebration before.
This is where the action is.
Her friend Guy Pascuano has been here too, but the two cyclists have never been in the parade until this year.
I said, I am there. Nothing will keep me away. Yep, this is an important thing to do.
Mary, Guy, and about a dozen cyclists joined the route along 23rd Avenue with a display that looked and sounded much different than the others.
It's a ride of silence. So some cyclists are going to join the parade, and we'll be together because as a group, we're much more easily seen and recognized. And as we will, engage the crowd through eye contact, but we're not going to be making noise. We're not going to have any songs being played. We just want to be present, visible, and engaging with them.
Guy says it's an effort to honor the 134 pedestrians and cyclists killed on Colorado roads in 2024. The second highest total on record. Mary was nearly one of those statistics after being hit by a driver on her bike in Boulder County in 2019.
It's not right. It's just not right. A bike cannot win over a car.
And while they hope people walk away from the parade excited about what they saw, they also hope this ride leaves a lasting image.
And we just don't want to be part of the scenery anymore. We want to be a focal point.
Now that group was certainly the exception out here today. We saw classic cars, fire trucks, dance troops. It was just a great time. I'll tell you what though, it was really hot out here today. Perhaps the best float of all, the Denver fire engines spraying their hoses into the crowd to help cool everybody off as a great tradition continued here along 23rd Avenue. Reporting live in Park Hill, Evan Krugel, 9 News.
You love to see it. Celebratory and thoughtful. Evan, thank you.